Alright, here we are for another exciting iteration of hacking. So, I did funbox. I'm going to start by reverting the box because the final step that I used is, I would just rather it to be on a fresh version. So, I'll just start talking about it though. This is funbox, originally on vulnhub. This is just an 8-point box. And really, this is about as easy as one of the 5-point boxes. It's rated as intermediate by the community, but I have no idea why. Not that I'm condescending or anything. It just it didn't have too much of a challenge to it. So let me just exit out of this guy and this guy, and then we'll make up some new ones. So on funbox, when we run nmap, we discover 21, 22, 80, and 33,060. So that's FTP, SSH, web, and then MySQL. The critical path takes us just using ports 80 and 22. What we're going to find with port 80 is there's a home page, then all sorts of stuff that when we try to use it, it redirects to a weird host name. So the critical part of that is making sure that we add that host name to our host file. So to illustrate that, it's up now finally. We go to funbox.pg. Oh, and I already have this here. My bad. Let me delete that. Let me see if I can actually just comment it out. It's either got it in cache or whatever. But suffice to say, when we went to funbox.pg, it would have given site not found. And that would have been interesting. Then as we went to log in, or rather found its redirect through burp or curl, then we would have discovered that it's redirecting to funbox.fritz.box. I don't know why this is one of my bookmarks. So this right here is WordPress. And so we can use different fun things like WordPress scan. WordPress scan doesn't actually give us too much just on its own. So you see that I brute forced some stuff here. But let's take it through how we got to that point. So we start funbox.fritz.box. That didn't have cache. It takes it through just a normal scan. Doesn't find too much. It's got an out-of-date theme, but nothing else. So, we use EU to enumerate users. I don't know how to make it not do the initial part. I don't know if that's possible. It probably is. But I just let it go. It enumerates these users. So that's cool. Let me see if this is in my history. It is. Good. So first off, I started with enumerating Joe. And it very quickly finds his password. And of course, it goes through the scan before brute forcing. I really need to learn how to make it avoid doing the initial WordPress scan. does its thing, finds his password. So then we do the same thing with admin, and it'll find his password. I won't waste your time with that. The password is IUBR. So that's cool. That's actually not useful because when we log in, there's nothing to upload or anything like that. But it's fine because we can just SSH Joe at funbox, and his password is 12345. So now we have a lot of enumeration to do. Nothing useful is found through like SUIDs, etc. I searched through lots of stuff. The ID isn't useful. Nothing find, etc. Not useful at all. There is another user, funny. CD home funny. Oh, and we're in R bash. We know the escape for that. Set shell equals bin bash, and then shell. Just that easy. There's another way, just using Python spawn, which is usable. You know, if you don't have access to Vim, then that's perfectly acceptable. When I have access to Vim, though, I like to use that. So now that we're in here, we see different things. We can view the reminder. But the big one is that backup.shell. And we see that it's running a thing. We also see that it's chmoded 777, so we can edit it. So this immediately lets us know that we can v.backup.shell. We can get our own authorized key, our own public key, into an authorized key directory or file. But first off, you may have noticed there's no .ssh directory, so we need to make that. So we make dir home funny.ssh, and then we echo, then we'll cat idrsa, .pub. I don't need to worry about security because this is just for this box and it's going to be deleted as soon as this is over. So Control-Shift-V, like that, append, put that in home funny.ssh, authorized keys. Yep, I think that's good. I didn't quite follow this exact pathway, especially this directly, but I think that'll be fine. So now, let's see, while true, do cat home funny dot, actually do ls la sleep 5 done. Oh, it's there already. Cat.sh authorized keys, and there's my authorized key. I was going to set up a monitor so we could loop through and watch it appear. The last time I did this, the file was already there, so I was just monitoring it to see where it was. But in this case, it wasn't, so I wasted more time checking that out. SSH, ID, IDRSA, funny at funbox.pg. And we're in. So the first thing I noticed is that it's part of the LXD group. That is the privilege escalation pathway that I chose. I love to use that. That one is shown in my funbox rookie walkthrough. I'm not going to illustrate it here. What I am going to do is show, well, actually, I'll start with showing the prescribed pathway. So you go cd var log ls tail follow syslog. We see, well, nothing too interesting there. There's something in syslog. Cat syslog, and I should have just used grep, but it's fine. Grep backup. We see that it's being run every 2 minutes by funny and every 5 minutes by root. So all we have to do is just try to write our authorized key, write our public key into roots.ssh directory. And it's really that simple. I actually didn't do this, so we're going to go ahead and do this. cd home funny ls, whoops, let's just v.backup.sh. And I don't need to do that. Echo that. We're going to put that into root SSH authorized keys, which if we're doing this for real, that would remove anybody else's access via pub key for root. So right now, as you don't see the time, actually you do. It's 03, so we have 2 minutes to wait. I will pause the video. Just for posterity, I just want to note that I'm tailing it so that I can see exactly when it runs. I'm just grepping for backup, and it'll show up when it should. Oh, and right after I paused it, it ran. It probably threw a silent error when it ran because it can't write to root as the funny user. But we see we have just 1 more minute to wait. I've got my SSH to root all ready to go whenever that runs here. There it did. And it worked. I didn't even test that before. So that's super lucky. And there's our roots. It's just that easy. So just as a review for funsies, I just want to go over that LXD exploit. Anytime you see a user having LXD permissions, there's no specific exploit. It's just a feature of being part of the LXD group that you can get root permissions without, I'm sure there are ways to mitigate that, but not so far that I've seen, or not that I've really researched it. But when it's there, I like to use it. So the way we do it, I have it all set up on my machine already. Let me exit out of there. CD scripts. We see that I've got my LXD Alpine builder. We're going to CD there. What we want to do is we get this tar file over to the over here. We have Python 3. Oh, which one is already using it? Oh, it's already set up. So I'm just going to go ahead and get it over here. Copy wget 192.168.49. Can't read it. Oh, that's right. Conky's over here. .189. Then the file. And it brings it over. Super cool. Normally we'd have to, download and then do the build Alpine, etc. But like I said, that's in the first walkthrough. Not going to worry about it right here. So then we just follow through the procedure. So we start. Let me go back to it. There's one step and then I have a screenshot. So lxc image import dot slash gz alias my image. Yay. And it seems it could be the first time running it. But just for fuzzies, lxc image list, and we see that it is there. There's that my image. So next let's run lxd init. Clustering, new storage pool, sure. Default, btreefs, sure. Whatever. Now right here, the first time I ran it, it kind of ran into an issue regarding IPv6, and it seemed to really just cancel out the whole process. So I told it the second time around, no, and then no, and then no, and then sure, and then whatever. And then it's in there. So next, lxc init my image ignite c security dot privileged equals true. All right, cool. And that's just a warning. That doesn't matter. And I'm going to copy paste this just so I can save myself any possible lxc config device add ignite my device disk source equals root path mount root recursive equals true added to ignite lxc start ignite, and I have it in my notes that there's no response. lxc exec ignite bin shell. All right, now don't get too ahead of ourselves. This is just root in that container. But we're almost there. We just go cd mount, cd root, and we are in root. So I made the walkthrough a bit longer to re-go through that. But I just like that, you know? Yeah, I can follow their prescribed pathway, or if they're part of the LXD group due to some oversight, or maybe they just want an extra privilege escalation vector, I can be comfortable with that and use it very easily.